Christmas card I write.
It looks like it's on now.
Yep, I think we're ready to go then.
We've got White Christmas on.
So again, Public Works and Services Committee, we are ready to start at 7:14 p.m.
Now I don't see it again. Okay. Okay, there we are.
Want me to do the roll call?
Yes, please.
Alder Land,
Present.
Alder Levy,
Present.
Alder Santiago,
Present.
Alder Perez,
Present.
and Alder Jones is excused. So
That's
we have
correct.
5.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for November 11th, 2020.
Move to
I have
approve.
Motion to approve?
was that you, Edwin?
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0803-20. Mr. Eek?
It's a communication sponsored by Mayor Mason requesting to update the Racine Works Ordinance 0020-20.
Shannon, are you going to speak to this?
I was going to see if Kathleen wanted to start or if she wants me to start.
Kathleen, you're going to speak to this?
Sure, I'm more than happy to start on this item.
Okay.
Thank you for having me tonight. So this has been long in the making, this revision to the Racine Works Ordinance. As the larger development projects started coming forward, it became clear that the ordinance needed a little bit more clarification and a little bit more cleaning up, and we needed to look at our internal process and how this process can be the most effective and efficient that we can possibly make it. During this process of revision, which again was a long time coming, we collaborated with many administrative managers, with some contractors, some developers. So there were a lot of people that had input into this, the attorney's office as well. And Shannon did a very nice memo kind of detailing out the 3 or 4 major things that, or 3 things that changed within the ordinance. Again, the overarching is really to get city residents to good paying jobs, long-term jobs, career type jobs, while at the same time we're doing development within our community as well as construction projects within our community in DPW and water utility, wastewater utility. So in Shannon's memo, it talks about the 3 items that saw the most changes, and that really was the eligibility requirements. So the eligibility requirements were edited to be a little bit more residency based, or to clarify the residency a little bit better, and then to define some of the terminology relating to underemployed and those types of things. Let me just stop for a moment. I did actually email the final ordinance around to everybody because I hear that it was not coming up on the link. So hopefully all of you received that. I apologize for that. Also some compliance requirements. It was a little bit unclear as to the compliance requirements in the original draft. We shored up some language associated with that. And then the responsibility for oversight was internally a relatively large process change. It was originally, it went through the Affirmative Action Office, which is in HR. We have shifted that into the purchasing office because the purchasing agent deals a lot more with the construction contracts, with the bidding requirements, with the contractors, a lot more familiar with the types of questions that would come relating to this type of process. So we're asking tonight for an approval to the revised ordinance. More than happy to take any questions. Shannon, if you have anything in addition to that, more than happy to have Shannon speak on it too.
I could just add a couple of things if you don't mind. I mean, the goal for this was to make the process more inclusive. So we noticed that things were confusing to contractors and developers, and we didn't really have a good process for tracking people and helping contractors to get people that met our requirements. So the underemployed definition was clarified to sort of be slightly more broadened. It previously just spoke to people at a certain income based off of county, actually I don't remember what the right word for it is, based off of a county standard for underemployed. Some of the contractors brought up that it might make sense, like if you've not been at work, but you, for a certain number of hours, I think it's 1,200 hours, that you would still meet that definition. And so we tried to broaden that a little bit to be more inclusive. Around the certification piece too, of like who actually qualifies as a Racine Works program person, that a contractor could say, I need a plumber that does that meets your requirements. We've implemented a certification process that actually builds a pool of employees that WRTV Big Step is in charge of managing for us, so that contractors can go to them and say, hey, I've got to meet this. Who do we have that's listed? And we clarified the process for recertification. So we want to make sure that we're building people jobs long term so that they can stay employed. So we originally were projecting the idea that if you qualified for the program when you were underemployed or when you were at a certain income, but we want to build you up, right? So at some point you're going to not meet this low income qualification, but you're still a city resident. We still want to get you on jobs. So we modified that to say, well, we can recertify you after 5 years as long as you're still a city resident and can be, still qualify for this. That was a really important modification that everybody thought was necessary. And I think that's all I need to add.
That sounds good. Mayor Mason, did you want to say something on this item? I thought I saw him there. Okay.
So just to remind Racine Works ordinance in terms of what it is for those of you who weren't on council when we adopted this a couple years ago. So Racine Works ordinance is the ordinance that we put in place to use city funds or city incentives to work on a project. The idea is that it's not unreasonable for the taxpayers who are funding the project to have some expectation that some of that work actually go to city residents who have not been as well represented in the building trades as we'd like to.
Okay.
First choice pre-apprenticeship and Big Step, and ordinance in place, and all the those that you've heard here are basically us after a couple of years realizing some of the kinks that were in the ordinance. That I really believe that the work that was done in this will make it an even more effective in achieving the goals that we'd all like to see in terms of giving more residents an opportunity to get into the trades and to good paying jobs.
Okay. Do any members have questions or comments?
Question, Ms. Land? Is Henry
Okay, who is this?
Perez?
Oh, okay, Henry.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. A question about the revision. I originally voted for this when it came out, and I still think it's a great idea. But as we continue to move forward, and we've done this for a couple of years now, have we even had enough people trained in the trades that are local that have participated in this, especially with our lower economic impact in the community, or lower economic folks from our community? Because originally that was the whole idea: get them trained so that they can be on jobs. They wouldn't have to travel because a lot of them wouldn't have transportation, and so on and on. But it seems to me that even though we've tried successfully to get GEDs and get people trained in different programs, that the numbers don't seem to be high. Are there enough numbers in place that we could actually hold the contractors of any businesses that want to do this responsible to do this and actually accomplish it?
Alderman, Mary, if you don't mind, this is Shannon. I'd be happy to respond to the alderman.
Okay, you can respond.
Yeah, so I would say in the past, no, we did not have good numbers. We did not have good participation. And there was a lot of work that needed to be done, mostly because our process was not good. I will say the money that the council approved to work with an outside firm, WRTP, who also manages the local hire requirements for the city of Milwaukee, and they have a much higher threshold than the 20% that we've implemented it through our ordinance. WRTP has come through and really developed the process with us. They work hand in hand with contractors, the unions, the trades, to figure out who they have and what they need. And they've really taken on the responsibility of working with, when we say we passed a contract, and with the help of Monica, who's also on the line, in the purchasing, our purchasing agent, they've started to build a good pool. And I think they've got in like 24, I think Monica said, in less than a month as part of this pool. And so it will build up over time. But I mean, I think as daily basis, I mean, we are in communications with them, with Monica, and with contractors saying, you know we got to meet these requirements. Here's what we need. Can you help us out? And we understand that in this process, the contractors have to do their due diligence to try to find people as well. We need to work with our training partners to make sure that we're getting people signed up appropriately. And we understand that that there may be instances where we're not meeting all the requirements, but we have to do our best to try to help everybody get there. The idea is not to be punitive to people who are really doing their due diligence to try to find the right residents to get people onto jobs. And we've been working with them over the last couple of years to do that.
Yeah, and I think that's great. But I also, when you look at the ordinance, it says that if they fail to comply, there's a 3-year debarment for their participation in the program. And that seems kind of extreme when we ourselves as a community can't really or have not been able in the past to supply the needed people to get 20% on a job. So how do we handle that? I mean, I guess purchasing has a responsibility, but if they're unable to get that, is there an exception for it?
There is, yeah. So in my memo, I under the compliance section, we have the ability to make exemptions, right? So if everybody does everything that they're supposed to do, and we tried really hard, and we still can't get them the number of people that hit the right target, we have the ability to give them exemption. The contractor needs to present, I mean, we're working hand in hand with them as it is, but the contractor needs to present something to the city saying, I really can't meet the requirements, and here's all the things we did. And we will know that because we're working with them and WRTP is working with them.
Okay.
And yes, we can grant exemptions.
Okay, because that was my concern, because we have a lot of people that want to come in here, and when they look at our ordinance, may get a little bit scared because they're like, there's no way we're going to meet 20% of our people that we need to work here on the job with the community that we have here in town. How, Ms. Powell, maybe how successful have we been as a community to be able to train and have participate our underrepresented community in this program?
I don't know. I guess I don't know a great answer to that. I know that we still have training dollars available for First Choice and WRTP, that if they can enroll students. I think COVID has definitely had an impact because those training classes aren't happening as regularly as they would have been otherwise right now. So I'm certain the COVID impact has slowed down the amount of trainees that we're getting, but WRTP is right now, I mean, doing a really good job and doing a better job than we've done before, getting people enrolled in the program and certified. So the training aspect will be something that will be ongoing, and hopefully once we get through the pandemic is something we can ramp up.
So in the past, we were challenged that we cannot require a certain amount of people from our community to be employed with $1. Is legal challenges to that been addressed in the past? I don't remember that they were.
I'm not familiar with what we're talking about.
Okay.
Alder Perez, if I may, it's the mayor. It was usually the concern was whether or not we could make those requirements by racial demographics, which this ordinance does not do. What it does do is it lays goals that we want to make on an economic basis instead, and that as I understand it, has held up in multiple jurisdictions.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. What do we have programs in support moving forward to help our community become certified other than the current 2 programs that you mentioned, Mr. Powell?
Well, the main training programs right now for city residents would be through WRTP and for First Choice Pre-Apprenticeship. Now, you could go through Gateway, right, and take classes and do a program through there, or through your trades. You just have to do some sort of pre-apprenticeship, which for any, trade or union or contractor, they're not going to hire somebody that hasn't done some sort of pre-apprenticeship work, most likely, right? You want to know that the person that you're hiring has some skill in the thing that you're asking them to do. So the requirement is on sort of that pre-apprenticeship, but it doesn't just have to be through those 2 programs, but the city does have funds to help reimburse those 2 programs through a grant that we got from the state, was it a year or so ago, that we could help them, those 2 programs specifically, if they need funding to train people.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none.
I see Jennifer
Hello?
Williams have her hand raised. Somebody that called in, an attendee.
Jennifer
Oh.
Levi?
Does she wish to speak?
Jen?
No, my hand isn't raised. I'm on the phone. So, no,
Okay.
I want to say, well, since I have the floor now, say I'm in full support of these recommendations, and I move to approve, if there are no other questions.
I'll second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on, item 0752-20, Mr. Eek.
Is a communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Commissioner of Public Works, City Engineer, submitting an ordinance for the temporary closure of the Root River for the purpose of replacing the West 6th Street Bridge.
Madam Chair, committee members, on the agenda, there was not a link to this ordinance, and I did email it out shortly.
It is attached. 0752.
It is on the bottom. I'm sorry, it is. So you should have it. And I emailed it out as well. There was a little gap there in the spacing of the agenda. So you should have this ordinance before you. What this ordinance is in regards to is our ability under the home rule to close a navigable waterway for this project. What this ordinance does is give us the ability to close down this navigable waterway to navigation while we do construction on the West 6th Street Bridge, which will be starting about a year from now. This ordinance allows us to do the work in late fall of 2021 into early 2022, and then to start up again the following winter later in 2022. And it allows us to close the navigable waterway so we don't have anybody who might be kayaking, canoeing, et cetera, using the river while the contractor will be demoing the bridge. So it's more of a safety issue than anything. The permit that we need to get, which we have to have in hand and issued to us by January 31st of 2021, comes from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources. Part of that permit application requires this ordinance passed by the local unit of government. That is why this item is before you tonight. If you approve this ordinance, it'll be part of a permit application that we will be submitting to Wisconsin DNR.
Okay, thank you. Do any committee members have any questions or concerns?
I have a question, Ms. Land. Alder Land.
Okay, Alder Perez?
Thank you. Mr. Rooney, what does that do for the traffic on the road? How is that going to get diverted off the bridge area on 6th Street?
Oh, well, the detour is already part of the plan set. So the detour, will be set utilizing, I believe, Memorial Drive and 12th Street and Washington Avenue and West Boulevard. So that's how vehicular traffic will be detoured during bridge construction.
So we have also scheduled for that time period, if I am correct, or if I can recall properly, construction on those roads as well. How is that going to impact traffic, the movement overall in the city?
The project, good question. The project on Highway 20 will be finished by the time the demo starts for the West 6th Street Bridge. Generally speaking, you're going to wait till the river freezes over. It's very shallow. That's another thing about this ordinance. There's not a lot of people using it for navigation purposes. This time of year, you could find somebody who may want to ice fish or skate on it. Regardless, we close it down. But this project will start after Highway 20 is finished from West Racine all the way out to the city limits.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other questions or concerns from committee members? Edwin? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Second.
No, we need a first.
Move to approve?
Oh, sorry. Second.
Okay, Jen seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, item 0846-20. Mr. E?
Communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Commissioner of Public Works, submitting an encroachment report on State Project ID 2703-0002, West 6th Street Bridge replacement.
Madam Chair, committee members, we're submitting an encroachment report for your approval. Once approved by the committee, then action can be taken by the Commissioner of Public Works to order any encroachments removed from the public right-of-way that may have an impact on our ability to construct the project. So they identify any encroachments that are visible based on where private property ends and public right-of-way begins. Those encroachments then, if they are in the way, I simply send letters asking those property owners to remove those encroachments. If they are encroachments that are not going to impact the project, we can actually permit them to stay with revocable permits. So this is common on every WSDOT project that we do, and it comes before this committee. So the appropriate action be to approve.
Okay, do we have any questions or concerns from committee members? Seeing none or hearing none, a motion is in order.
Move to approve.
Do we have a second? Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Santiago.
Henry, did you second it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? None? The ayes have it. Moving on, item 0753-20. Mr. E?
Communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations, submitting the 2021 summary of lease agreements for office space. Madam Chair and committee members, attached is the memo on the sheet. What would be going up is by the CPI this year, 2.4%. This results in a total revenue of $130,316.77. As I outlined, these are for the leases that expire at the end of this year. We do have Toys for Tots yet that we'll have to bring back to you next year. Their agreement goes through June 30th of next year. So we will bring that forth early next year. Just request that you look at these agreements as submitted.
Where is the Toys for Tots one? What page is it on?
It's not on there yet.
Not here. We don't have it yet because they're not up till June 31st of next year, June 30th.
How does the changing of the rooms, for example, where the testing is going on right now, affect the lease to the building?
It was Toys for Tots areas that they acquired. But one was a boxing club that wasn't being used. That was actually DPW was storing things in there. And it was across the hall from room 13 is where Toys for Tots would had the washer and dryer to clean the stuffed animals and such that they received. So they relocated out of there down to the south end of the building. So again, that would just impact Toys for Tots in their lease agreement because they would have less space.
But we're not discussing Toys for Tots right now, correct?
Not tonight. That'll be next year. We bring it in.
Okay, let's stick to the agenda items. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I have another one, and it was significant. My question was significant because that area is actually being used, right, for the COVID testing, or is that over? And so wouldn't that impact how we use that area as well? But how does this affect Crime Watch or Neighborhood Watch as well?
There was no impact on Neighborhood Watch. They're on the third floor. They're away from this area. Formerly, yes, they were down in the lower level, but they are on the third floor. So no impact on them.
Okay, thank you.
Does any other committee members have questions or concerns? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
A motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Those in favor, say aye.
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 The ayes have it. Okay, item 0857-20, Mr. Eek.
Communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the interim city engineer, submitting change order number 1 on contract 2020-057, Ohio Street Lighting, MP Systems, Inc. contractor.
Committee, this is just a simple change order to extend the days of the contract. It has no financial bearing to the contract whatsoever. We're basically going from 60 days to extending it 140 days to 200 total days. This is just so we can do the work in the spring and not yet this fall.
Okay.
Okay, do we have any committee members have questions or concerns on this item? Seeing none, we'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Do I have a second? Second by Jen. Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Moving on, item 0858-20, Mr. Eek.
This is communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations, submitting change order number 2 on contract 2020-028, Tyler Domer Community Center HVAC replacement. As this project was moving along, there's a steam coil in the unit that they were working on that has a leak in it. It was an appropriate time to get that replaced because they were working on the AC system adjacent to it in the air handling unit. Item 2 was temperature controls. they added more temperature controls to give us a more efficient means to, manage the operation in that building. So again, this change order is in the amount of $11,193 with, funding available as outlined.
Any questions or concerns from committee members? Seeing none, I'll take a motion on this item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 0859-20, Mr. Eek.
This communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the interim city engineer, submitting change order number 2 on contract 2020-009, 21st Street Concrete Reconstruct, Zignago Group Contractor.
Committee members, this is a change order, basically to extend the contract by 35 days and also to increase the amount of the contract by $95,939.67, bringing it to a total of $1,040,618.65. This was to be funded out of concrete street paving miscellaneous locations. This is mostly in regards to, we had a change in additional sidewalk and driveways and handicap ramps.
Okay. Committee members, questions, concerns?
I have one, Ms. Land.
Okay, Alder Perez?
So, Mr. Eeg, when the original bid was put in, those things weren't considered?
No, it, this is interim, Aaron Molitor. They were considered, it's just that the grades weren't working out and they, driveways were gonna end up being steeper than we can allow. Sidewalks had cross slopes that we couldn't allow, so we had to stop them, and then redesign, redesign so the finished product met our standards. What caused it was, basically in parts on that road, there's like a 1 to 2 foot wide terrace, and we don't have information for every foot of the road. We take cross sections every so often, every 50 feet or so. And where the driveways didn't line up, we didn't have proper information to calculate out those slopes. So we had to make changes in the field.
What is a terrace?
The terrace is the grass area between the back of curb and the sidewalk, front of sidewalk. Or the sidewalk edge closest to the road.
All right. Thank you.
Another way to explain it too is, so the narrower the terrace is, that length, the less distance you have to spread out the elevation difference between the gutter and the sidewalk and your driveway apron. So when the grades weren't quite matching up on the pavement side to the sidewalk side, the narrower the terrace, steeper the grades, that's when vehicles tend to bottom out as they're going up their driveway. That's not a product we wanted to have delivered to the property owners there. So in turn, we lowered the sidewalks, and lowered, and the sidewalks that are approaching that sidewalk to get the grades a little more gentle to prevent that. So that was a little bit of the hang up with the design and then the delay as well, while we re-engineered some of the project elevations and gave those new cut sheets to the contractors so they could finish the project. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anyone else have questions or concerns? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to approve this.
Motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on, item 086-20. Mr. Eek?
Communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations, submitting change order number 1 on contract 2020-0050, roof replacement at the Racine Heritage Museum. Hernandez Roofing Contractor. When the roof was removed in that area, it was determined that more of the tuck pointing masonry work had to be done that was beneath the edge of the roof. Again, this change order amount of $4,292.10, and half of the costs associated with this would be charged to Racine County. A half member of this building.
Okay. Do we have questions or concerns from committee members?
Ms. Land, I have a question.
Alder Perez?
So, does the county know that they're responsible for the payment of what we're approving as a change?
Yes. You know, they're made aware that anything associated with that roof project, they'd be responsible if we touch pointed the whole building. Again, that's part of the county would have to cover half of any of the major construction works needed on the building. So, yes.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Okay, moving on, item 0861-20, Mr. Eek.
This is communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations, submitting change order number 1 on contract 2020-0049, roof replacement, fire station number 2. Hernandez Roofing, again, contractor. Yeah, on this roof, some of the base is concrete area beneath it. So when the new roof went on, they couldn't necessarily get it pitched properly to get the drainage correct. What this change order in the amount of $963 is doing is getting sump pumps under the roof to better control the water flow off the roof.
Okay. Anyone on the committee have questions or concerns? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Do I have a second? Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on, item 0848-20. Mr. Eek?
Is communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operation, requesting waive formal bidding procedures for the purchase of materials for the Johnson Controlled Medicine System. And just want to outline that a number of next items are similar to this. Each year, we need to go through the process of waiving formal bidding. In this instance, the medicine system is how we control our HVAC system. They're the only ones that can provide parts that relate to that system. So we are asking permission to waive formal bidding for the purchase of these materials. I don't have unaware of what the cost will be. It's as needed, but we have a $100,000 budget that not only covers this, but a number of other items. So that is worst case.
Okay, committee members, questions,
Alderman?
comments?
I have a question, Alder Land.
Okay, Alder Perez.
Thank you. Mr. Eek, in the past, we were told that the Johnson Controls medicine system is unique, and they're the only ones that can provide the replacement parts. Is that correct?
Correct.
So
For their system. Now, I mean, we can buy boilers and others that aren't produced by them, but the communication back to the system has to be through them.
So what does that, what is the expected life cycle of the products that we're currently buying?
Well, we've had this medicine system for the 30 years I've been here. It would be very costly to try to switch to someone, another vendor on it, because we have so many facilities that utilize this. we really haven't had an issue with life expectancy on it. The materials we get have warranty and, do last for a number of years. It's just if something is needed and something gets damaged, we need to work through them to keep it on the system to continue our energy efficiency.
Is it practical for us to approve $100,000 without knowing what it's going to?
Well, again, it's unknown cost. That's the dollar amount in the budget that would cover anything needed. We may spend nothing on this, but if something did come up that we need something from Johnson Controls, this authorizes us to move forward on it to get it in a timely manner. Again, that's the amount in the budget, and building improvements is the budget, which covers other things besides just the medicine system and the heating system. If we had electrical work that had to be done in the building, again, that would be coming out of this account. So it's not necessarily $100,000 going to Johnson Controls. Again, we don't have an estimate because it's, again, as needed. So I just outlined what's in the budget that could be spent on these.
So what you're really asking is, look, we have the system in place. If we need replacements, we'd like to be able to do it, and we have this money available. Is that what you're asking in this?
Correct. And we can waive bids and not have to bid to find the materials. That the purchasing agent can just negotiate it and get the materials needed to keep the systems in operation.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Moving on, item 0849-20. Mr. Eek?
Is communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations to waive formal bidding for Apex Key and Lock materials for city facilities. Again, they are our sole source to get keys to continue our security in the system. So again, we are asking permission to, again, waive formal bidding to continue with them for any lock and key needs needed.
Okay, thank you. Committee members, questions, comments?
Yeah, Ms. Land.
Alder Perez?
Thank you, ma'am. So, Mr. Eeg, the reason that it's being requested as a sole source is because all our current locks are part of the company that put them in. I mean,
Medical
Apex
system. Yeah, Medical System is our key and lock manufacturer. Again, for security, they're the only ones that have our codes on these keys. You know, that they can't be going to someone on the outside. Or if something did happen, we know where to go to determine what happened.
But is Apex Key, can't other people do the same thing as well?
Others can, but they don't have the license from Medical for our system, our codes. You know, each key has a code on it. Apex Key and Lock is the only one that can do it. We inquired with Medical on how we could do that, and there's a lot of steps to try to move on to another area to do it. So it's just more appropriate to stay with them. Again, they know which locks, keys are in, you know, each office in each of our buildings, which is easier to go to them and if there's a replacement key needed to obtain it from them.
Are they a local company?
Yes. They're up on Yelp Street.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's fairly complex key and lock system. I don't want to make it sound too complicated, but the fob system and the security for all of these buildings, including the public safety building and all of our facilities, all run through this program. So it's not like just simply going to get a key cut at a hardware store. It's highly technical, it's all computerized, and they're the ones that provide the service.
Thank you.
Okay, any other committee members have questions or concerns? Okay, I'll take a motion for this item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving on. Item 0851-20, Mr. Eek.
Is communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations to waive formal bidding for the purchase of free LED light fixtures. Again, the city went through all the LED lighting updates. Cree being our local company, the majority of them came through them. They've actually donated some to the city to do demos that we had to accept and install in certain areas. So again, this will just allow us to continue with them. If we have a light fixture that goes out with a green light, we waive formal bidding and again continue keeping the same fixtures that we currently have out there.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions or comments from committee members? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for this item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Item 0853-20, Mr. Eek.
This communication sponsored by Alder Jones on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations to waive formal bidding for the purchase of McConnor Energy Systems for HVAC-related products. McConnor has been a sole source provider of a number of our boilers throughout the city. Again, they tie in with the Johnson Control Medicine System. But again, on these boilers, McConnor is the only one that we can get the parts needed. So we are again asking, when necessary, that the purchasing agent can negotiate these directly through McConnor.
Okay, any questions or comments from committee members? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Do I have a second? Henry?
Second.
Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Item 0854-20.
Is communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations to waive formal bidding for the purchase of HOH Water Technologies, Inc. for chemicals for our HVAC system. What HOH Water Technology is used for is our cooling systems, our air conditioning units. And again, we do need to use the same chemical in them annually. If you switch, each manufacturer has different chemicals in it. If you switch it, it can cause damage to your AC unit and make it fail faster than anticipated. So again, this is just keeping the same chemical within our cooling units that are currently using their material chemicals.
Okay, do we have questions or comments from committee members? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Do we have a
Second.
second? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Item 0855-20, Mr. Eek.
Is communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations to waive formal bidding for the purchase of Nina Foundry sewer-related materials. Nina Foundry is the only one that makes catch basin covers, catch basins themselves, sewer covers. So again, there's times that a high dollar amount needs to be spent on them. So we're asking permission to waive formal biddings and again allow the purchasing agent to negotiate with Nina for this purchase.
Questions or comments from committee members? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 0856-20, Mr. Eek.
Is communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the Assistant Commissioner of Public Works Operations to waive formal bidding procedures for the purchase of the Case wheel loader vehicles. Again, as mentioned in the past, Case is all our front-end loaders that we have, that we stock the materials on to maintain. In this year's budget, DPW has one budgeted for $213,000, and Parks has one in the amount of $75,000. So we're recommending that the purchasing agent be authorized and directed to negotiate with Miller Bradford, who is the sole source provider of these Case loaders.
Okay, questions, comments from committee members? Seeing none, could we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 The ayes have it. Item 0862-20, Mr. Eek.
This communication sponsored by Alder Land on behalf of the interim city engineer, requesting approval of a resolution of support for a pump out station funding grant application from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources for the Racine Harbor Commission.
Committee members, this is basically a resolution in support of and accepting the terms of the DNR grant, and directing, our attorney to write it up. In a nutshell, we're trying to replace the, non-functioning pump out station, the boat pump out station that's on the north side of the Root River, west of the Main Street Bridge. Current estimate for that would be $13,000. The grant would cover 75% of that, or $9,750. The local match portion would leaving $3,250, and that would be come out of the Racine Harbor Commission, as designated herein.
Okay, do we have any questions or comments from committee members on this item? Seeing none, could I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We have exhausted our agenda, so we are adjourned.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Aye.